Ja na...
No nie, że... Ty stoi w ogóle...
Green, what is the problem? What is the problem?
Kurwa jestem, no.
Look at this. Pro, Navi. Navi, blядь! Wow! Achtung!
Ty kurwa! Ja wal...
Achtung! Aj!
Hard.
Dumbass hoe.
Nie spalił się
Stupid ass
niesamowicie. Kurwa jak...
Blać!
Def na mnie... Def na...
Do you see that hop? Nie wiem. Może. Yeah. Achtung, verfluchte Feier!
What the hell?
Brother, no. Whoa. Oh man, brother, you a wrestler. I don't give a damn about the time, man, but plastic mind, man. Brother, can I talk to your shoes real quick?
No, you can't talk to